What's up? A very good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching us from. What's up? What it is, what it do? It's your boy, Mostradamus, holding it down, kama dawa. And today I'm hanging out with my boy
Ben Waimani. Ukinita Ben Wafe tutakosana. Make sure your fei ni kienyeji fine, kienyeji compact mazibwembezi bitingi. And today we have one of the best hosts in town.
Come on now.
And this is one and only for the very first time on Catch 22.
Give it up
for
yo,
one and only
Ashley Mwelu.
Hey!
Kama ni DJ hapo ndo naangusha pwanga langa. Sasa zote kila kitu zote zinaanguka chini.
You know
we've been yani tumetaka kuanga na host madem.
This place has been such a sausage party, but now you're just breaking the
Holy Spirit spoke to Ashley and she just walked into this place where we are sitting and she was like, you guys what?
You have to put me in.
Lazima nipeane views zangu.
Yes, please. Yes.
Turn on notifications. Now watching the moment to post TV.
Yeah.
I also want to say something.
Nikona points zangu.
Wow.
So today, unreservedly, we'll be hosting a very lovely, beautiful lady who's going to be hanging out with us as we talk about our amazing topic for today. So you're going to take us through, and let's just go through that topic. So what's up?
All right. And the question, we posted a question on Instagram.
Yes.
And this was the question. Relationship red flags you should never ignore.
Wow.
Red flags in the relationships that you should never ignore. So we'll start with asking ourselves, to you, what is red flag?
Let's first start with our lovely lady here, because they say ladies first.
Ladies first.
What are some of your red flags, by the way?
Okay, we can begin with, what do you understand by the meaning of a red flag?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because tunaweza assume watu wanajua red flag ni nini.
Yeah.
Kuna mtu aelewangi
so true,
red
so
flag
true.
ni nini.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I think red flags are characters, or rather, not per se icks. It's just something that someone does that should be a warning and should have me, if I was going at a speed of 120, to slow to 80 and observe who they are as a person, because I wouldn't want to say that red flags are deal breakers per se. They're just warnings that I should take into consideration for me to be able to know if I can pursue whatever it is that I'm pursuing with that person, or I'll just stop it at that. Yeah.
Mostradamus.
What can you now say after such a deep definition? Such a deep definition. Well, for me, pretty much those pet peeves, things that just piss you off about this guy, that you just feel they're not things that we should be able to motivate you to stay on in that relationship for long. Technically, there are things that have caused you to raise your eyebrows about your relationship with a person, and again, really give you a conviction that you need to literally, before you make the major decision of being with this guy for the longest, to pretty much take a very detailed look at some of these things that he or she is bringing up. There are things that, like she said, they're not really deal breakers, but some of them can be. They have the potential to be, because there are telltale signs of a deeper thing that is going on with this individual. There are things that will make you ask questions about, kama ameanza kuonesha hizi matabia, what then is the real person, if most of the time this person is trying to always put his best forward or her best foot forward when it comes to dealing with me, but itafika wakati you can't really pretend for so long. So these are things that are basically cautious, making you to become aware of, or convince you to investigate further about a certain trait or habit that you started to see in your person or the person you're relating with. That's what I think.
So to me, I think red flag is the flag before
Korea. Flag ya Korea. Flag ya North Korea.
Red flag. Because what are you expecting me to say after such a deep explanation? So to me, red flag ni kama traffic lights. Red says stop, yellow says wait, and green says go.
So for you, a red flag is you stop everything.
Yes. If it's your thoughts, kwanza unazita mkutano, una kitu arise. And then now you can deal with it. If it is dealable, inasonga. Kama iwezi kuwa dealt with,
it's over now. Mic drop.
Inakuwa hapo, unabaki hapo kwa traffic light. Utakuja kusukuma ukiondolewa kwa jam. Yeah. Anyway, so today's conversation, we are going to share the couple of responses that people shared on our Instagram.
Oh yeah, we shared the same concern on our socials.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one person said inconsistent behaviors, silent treatments, violent when angry. Si hungry. Kuna
wengine ni violent when angry.
Violent when angry. Unakuwa mwezi have conversation jamaa kiwanja. Yeah. Wengine watu wakiamka.
Actually, do you think that's a red flag?
When hungry.
And angry.
Well, when hungry, it's not a red flag per se, but it's hujamingi kawa ukonja.
Yeah, but when the guy becomes violent, like saying,
when angry now, yes, I think that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Because if we are dating, see, there's a lot of security that comes with marriage, and most people tend to assume just because I've wifed this person, I can do whatever it is that I want to. So I'm trying to imagine if this person is being violent and they're just dating me, your violence itafika kitu ingine na lala inje, and the disrespect that comes with all of that. So for me, like, that's a very, very big, it's not even per se to me, but hitting a wall. The next time it will be my face. So yeah, that's a huge red flag for me.
Oh really?
Yes.
Is it a deal breaker?
If the person is open to working on it and is self-aware that they have that problem, you can actually walk with someone through something that they're going through. But if someone thinks that they're okay, they don't need help, that's definitely a deal breaker. Because I can't sit unigongange tumejam, sijaleta maji unani hapana. At this water is not in the right temperature. No,
the thing about it is, the guy is maybe breaking a glass here, slamming a plate there. It's not really, it's never gotten to a point of
atumesema breaking a glass there, slamming a plate.
You know, but haijakufikia sufuria. You know,
banging doors.
Hapa ni zile tu ma Cold War unapata ana torture pack.
Unashangaa paka amefanya nini?
Lakini hajakuguza. The guy is not doing anything to you. He's the nicest person to you.
No.
But he's not, of course, you know. Amekishika panya anaingisha kwa socket. Akisha miguu mbili kwa socket anahakisha inapigwa. Yani, these are some of the things that I'm trying to say. They're not doing anything to you per se. The violence is not towards you, but towards maybe the objects around you. Nasikia ameboeka, rusha kimguu amejigongesha kwa ukuta ama kwa mlango.
Hiyo story ya socket nikakumbuka kuna siku panya ishaikula documents zangu na nikaishika. Nilikuwa naifanyisha venye tunaonanga kwa movie kwa maji na ito na alikwambia kule documents zangu
tapika zote.
So na imagine mtu anaweza kuwa violent when angry na kuwa violent even with food.
Ama anakula tu anarusha akula kitu.
Shanga mtu anakula akiklik unashinda umejam nini? Unakula
hata hii chapati si tamu. Hey, but do you really think that when it gets to maybe on a very serious note now, if a person gets violent but is not directed towards you, maybe he's like I said, you know, banging a cup here or slamming a plate there, do you think that can become a deal breaker? Should one have a concern that this might escalate too? to actually physical abuse
I think
and violence towards
I think it can.
GBV kind of thing.
If he's using the other objects, it means that he's breaking things that are valuable. Because when we look at Masani, we tend to look at them as valuable stuff, because you need a plate to serve food. You need a plate to eat from, and you're breaking all of them. You're breaking glasses. I remember there was a time when we were in campus, we were shooting with a guy who was dating another chick, and then it could get to a point where the chick is the actor. Wamekasirikiana, so tuko set, unasikia kitchen glass puangala imechukuliwa, imevunjwa, alafu nakwambia sasa na feel ako sawa. So the question will be, if hiyo glass haitakuwa, atafanya nini? Takumwa meno, labda asikia ako sawa.
When the object iko closest
object yenye itakuwa hapo karibu ndio yaweze kujiexpress. So I think it will be a deal breaker. The best way is to avoid the violence. Because we've seen these stories. We saw the story of a certain lady who just killed their boyfriend. Speculations here and there. Zinasema kufanya, alifanya, alijigongesha kwa kioo. So yeye alijigongesha juu ya kwa violent ama what was happening. But it will be something yenye already ni red flag. Huwezi kana mtu anarusha ngumi, anaweza rusha ngumi adhani imefika kwa ukuta bana, wewe ndio ukuta ikuingie kama hata kisu akirusha, ama hata hiyo glass inaweza kuumiza. Anaweza rusha glass atigonge wall alafu ikukate, ikuingie kwa jicho, kwa blind. So through expressing through the objects inaweza ku affect pia indirectly. Inaweza kwa si yeye alikuwa na intent ku break hiyo glass ati kukate, lakini isha happen. So mwingine bado alikuwa anasema inconsistent behaviors and silent treatment. Inconsistency. Mtu ana behave kama switch on and off. On and off.
Actually, really silent treatment. At times you just need to just take a chill pill. I think you need to take a chill pill. I'm not trying to say that it should be something that is consistent, but I'm just trying to say that at times you can be dealt a very crazy card, and then you're like, what? I don't even. So that I don't end up saying anything that I will end up regretting, I'll just end up just being silent for a while. I don't think really silent treatment should be considered a red flag. I think you just need a moment to process, and you might just need to first just decide, hey, Ebu,
sabbatical.
Let me take kwanza chill pill kidogo tu. Give me time to just process. I might not tell you that I need time, but you should be able to read and see that, hey, this guy, after what has happened, this guy just needs a moment. I don't really honestly think it's what do you think?
There's actually what you're saying, and there's the silent treatment where you've been in an argument with someone and they decide to go 2 weeks without talking to you. There is that. There is that red flag. Like, why would you go 2 weeks umeenda wapi? And then they come back like nothing happened.
They've taken time to process.
No, at least communicate. Let me know you don't want to talk. Ni nini wewe unataka kwenda kukaa 2 weeks utaki tukiongelea?
The point is, I want to torture you psychologically.
Exactly, that's the point.
I want to make sure that you think about what you've done, and I don't want to talk to you. Because if I'm talking to you, then it beats the silent treatment beat.
You see the torture that you're talking about, that you want to do that intentionally. That's the red flag. That's the red flag. Because why would you want to put someone under that? If they have hurt you, just let them know you've hurt me, and I'm not in a space to talk about it at the moment, but we will eventually, but not ghosting and going.
So you want me to tell you from now until next week Thursday, I'm giving you a silent treatment. Usiniongeleshe, nimekasirika na wewe. Tuongee next week Thursday. That's what you prefer?
No.
Next week or next month? Nikupatia notice.
Next week from 9 to
9 o'clock. Starting now. Do you think ideally that's what you would want, Ashley, for someone to do that for you?
Kuna silent treatment na kuna kukasirikiwa for 2 weeks na ujui umefanya nini. Hizo naweza ziwekanisha pia mahali pamoja. Unapata tu mtu alijabu. For 2
And then ukimpata huko nje anapiga mastori na watu.
With everyone else,
Lakini
but
wewe,
you.
amekujamia 2 weeks. Hatujasema siku moja. Tumesema 2 weeks.
Yeah. So with silent treatment, do you think it's a thing that can be a deal breaker ama it's individually based?
It's individual, but also it can be addressed. Because you know, from perspective ya men, the way you are saying, mtu anahitaji hako ka break.
Yeah.
We also need to get to a point where we need to understand such a space when someone is going through that season, because the same way you've said, after he had gone through whatever he has gone through, so it means he's coming out of a season that he doesn't want to handle matters or things in a manner where he's not using wisdom, he's just using unaitanga nini, naitwanga not revenge, bouncing back, like atafanya vitu atiju ametoka kwa hiyo season, but still ako kwa process ya kutoka tu kabisa, but
na transition.
Yeah, na transition to into it, but it's, to me it's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
But also it could be a red flag when I think me hiyo kunyamaziwa pia ikifika 2 weeks nao ni sana. 2 weeks nao ni sana.
Okay.
Haifai upite 1 week. Unless sasa amekwambia. Lakini hiyo kujamiwa, napata mtu amefura kwa nyumba na akuongeleshi.
Yeah.
Hiyo nayo noma.
All right.
Noma.
I hear you, man. Yeah.
So mtu mwingine hapa anasema alitumadi Bible verse. Akaandika akasema 2 Corinthians 6:14, personally penda Mungu kwanza ndio tupendane, if not that's a red flag. 2 Corinthians, sijui tunafaa tuisome 6:14, asikuwa ametuma kama ile design ya ule president tuliona sema ile siku 2 Corinthians 6:14. Wacha tusikie anasema nini. Sipate amesema hapa Jesus wept. 6:14 na inasema hivi, don't team up with those who are unbelievers. How can righteousness be a partner with darkness? How can light live with darkness? What harmony can bring there between Christ and the devil? How can a believer be a partner with an unbeliever? And what union can there be between God's temple and idols? For we are the temple of the living God, as God said.
Well, what do you think, Ashley? Light and darkness, you can't be unequally yoked to non-believers. I don't know how to think about that. Is hanging out with a non-believer or having a relationship with a non-believer a red flag?
I think a relationship, because everyone believes in God, even Satan believes in God.
Yeah.
So it also a red flag, because you might end up getting into a space where someone will pull you back into sin, or maybe having a relationship that has no purpose, that is not aligned. Unajipata tu nyemuko. Wewe imagine ulikuwa unaenda church, then unaingia kwa relationship na msee na anakuambia venye believe
hajatambua church.
Hajatambua church.
My own church.
Anakuambia ni church.
Hebu Ashley tupenda, uko na maoni hapo. Hebu tuambie hiyo story.
It's not a story per se, but I agree with what Ben is saying, because having to explain to someone why some situations we need to play them out, na mimi najua mtu fulani, what are you telling me? Tuende tuko direct. Like having, I think it's more of having to constantly explain and try to have the other person understand why you did the way you did. Because you see, when as a believer, it's just not about the relationship, it's also how you live out your life. Are you living for Christ and everything? And there are people, like, my beliefs are I do not mind in sharing, even when it seems like I don't have enough myself.
Okay.
So like imagine having to tell someone, Itha imebaki, nimepatana na mama nani pale wako pabaya, nikaona aki by the way tunafaa tuwapatie kitu fulani, then he's like, what do you mean na tumebaki na thao? Like having to explain those small things that come from understanding God and wanting to be more like him. To me, like I think I wouldn't say it's a red flag per se, but it's work. Like having to like constantly be in situations where you need to explain yourself out.
Okay.
I don't think I'd want to be in such a space.
I think I'm looking at it from a perspective of someone who, now you're talking as a believer. Now I'm thinking of, let's say, what if it's an unbeliever watching, and maybe they're intending to get into a space or even into a relationship with a guy with a chick who they know maybe is a church-going person, you know, and this person is also maybe perhaps a saved guy or a saved chick, and maybe for them they haven't figured that point yet, but they really like this person, they really like this chick, they really like this guy, and the only thing about it is, well, I'm not yet convicted to the point where I'd want to give my life to Christ, you know. Weka umefika hapo ni sawa, lakini for me, mi sijafika hapo, lakini nakulike. I'm really feeling your vibe. I think we are resonating. We have so many things in common. I'm feeling like, you know, my concern is if that should be a red flag or a deal breaker, or should I even should that be a determinant in how we should be able to be approaching relationships. For me, I'm thinking putting a pedestal on that guy who's an unbeliever is a bit tricky. But for the believer, he's the one who has the final say on what they should allow to come into their space. For the guy who doesn't believe in God, there's no need that you're going to constrain him with. There are no requirements that, you know, because he's not living by anything. They are living by just the way they think life is all about. They're not having to feel convicted about any special kind of commitment they are doing from a spiritual level. But for the person who is actually for the person who is actually a believer, yeye anajua yeye ndio ataamua venye hiyo conversation itaenda, and it's very blatantly clear, and I like that concern, you know. Mtu ajipende until you get to a point utapata mtu mtakuwa, you know, and I like that verse a lot, because that verse says do not be unequally yoked. Unequally yoked means it's like you're yoking. You know, when you're yoking animals to plow, they have to be the same level. So the yoke has to be equal. So it's a ng'ombe na ng'ombe. But when you unequally yoke it, it means you are yoking a mbuzi and a ng'ombe. So this thing will become unequal. You know, and so this becomes unequal because it doesn't stand the same level. And even when you're choosing a kettle to yoke with, to be able to plow together, they need to be of the same level, same maturity level, so that even moja isichoke kushinda ingine, because they are literally almost the same level in terms of strength, in terms of build, in terms of, you know, capacity to be able to work. And so when you unequally yoke yourself, you get yourself into a very tricky space, and I can understand that space for a believer. So I think I would say for a believer it is a red flag. For a believer. For an unbeliever, if you're watching us and you're not even a believer, you know, I think you can date anyone you feel like. It's up to you to decide if, you know, we cannot deny your space of how you feel about some type of way towards a particular person. But it could be an unbeliever with an unbeliever. But I'd say, bottom line, it will be good that you actually yoke yourself with someone who is in the same belief system with you. I think so.
Someone mentioned and said, I'm spiritual, I'm not a Christian. Run Murife, run. Wala watu wanapenda kusema I'm spiritual.
Wow.
Hapa ndio Ashley alikuwa anatuambia mimi ni kanisa.
I am my own church.
I am my own church.
Mchawi pia ni spiritual.
Kila mtu ni spirit. Hata mtu anaendanga pale kupiga tunusu, si anapiganga spirit. Hata watu wakonyagi si spirit.
I see what you did there. You know? Swali tu ni ati, what does it cause you? You know?
And then someone else is talking about abuse, and then they are saying physical abuse. This is not a red flag, it's a billboard. And verbal abuse, and then I will add something on the abuse, niweke pia substance abuse. So unapatana na mtu akona physical abuse, verbal abuse na substance abuse.
What way?
Ama inaanza substance, inaenda physical na verbal. Yeah, it could be either way. Yeah.
I think for me, I don't know about you, but tell us kwanza. Tell us what do you think about it, Ashley? I want to know what is your position with abuse?
Well,
is it just a red flag? Is it a deal breaker?
That's a deal breaker.
Oh, really?
Because if you're considering to eventually end up with this person, what kind of space will you be bringing your children into? Will they be seen that it's normal mtu akikasirisha unamchapa, ataenda kichapa watoto wenyewe huko nje na atachapwa?
You're prepping it.
So like for me, like that's a total huge breaker when it comes to the physical part. The substance part, like I want to believe we all struggle with some things, and it depends with how or where you are as a person. I can deal with someone that's ready to work on themselves.
Okay.
And like someone who is miniko tu hivi, take it or leave. Maniga.
Murife.
Uyo.
Muriferan.
I'll go.
Mimi siwezi acha jaba.
Jaba. Ni sawa we baki tu kichana. Adios muchachos my friend. Tutaonana next time. And for the verbal abuse, for it to get to that extent, it means there is some level of disrespect.
Wow.
And disrespect is a deal breaker and a red flag to some people.
Yeah.
So hiyo tu abuse yote hiyo tu collectively. To me it's
dust bin.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think tumetoka hapo. That is very clear, and we had dealt about also physical.
Let me just throw in a few things.
Yeah.
What I learned about abuse is basically the word abuse comes from two words: abnormal use.
Yeah.
It's just basically you know, abnormally using whatever it is in context to what we're talking about. If it's drugs, it's not that drugs are bad, but you will always hear people are not talking about drug use. It's just talking about drug abuse, because there's a way you can use drugs to help you, including marijuana. There's a way that it can be used properly and legally and rightfully, and it's going to help you. And there is a way that it's being abused. That is that means it's being used abnormally. You know, and the concern here that we're actually talking about is beyond just substance, because it now reflects on the people who can actually get you into a very emotionally abusive space. They can push you to a very interesting place that it even starts defining who you are. Kama hujajimesea. The people who get into a relationship with someone, they leave them very worse off because they have been that constant voice that speaks so many wrong things until it gets to a place, the moment you're getting the strength to call it off, where you've left this person a disaster. Why? Because you've emotionally abused them. Like we've mentioned, it's not even worth getting concerned. Ukiona msee amekuwa tu toxic, narcissistic behavior, because things like substance abuse doesn't just affect behavior, it affects how someone ends up perceiving so many other things. Ideologies in a change. Umse si mse tu ati nini, unaanza kusikia manze anaanza kubelieve na vitu zingine funny. Unaanza kupata tu anakuwa tu compromised mentally. The whole approach on so many things becomes very different. So I think for me, abuse is a major red flag if you ask me, and I'm actually gonna say it boldly. It is a deal breaker.
Umenifurahisha umesema abuse is coming from two words: abnormal use. So pia mnaweza kwa verbal abuse ni kuitana babe sana. Baka mnaanza kwa abuse jina babe. So mnaweza change from babe to love to honey to sweetheart.
Una blend ni usijilemeza.
Babe sana, babe.
Baka unani babe abuse wewe.
Na babe aja. Anyway, so someone else is saying change in interest and attitude. Hiyo hata kuna kitu ingine. Si amechange.
What's causing the change?
Yeah, already amechange.
Let me ask you, Ashley.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a relationship before?
Yes.
When you're starting a relationship, there's that excitement and the feeling that you feel about being in a relationship before.
Yeah.
And midway somewhere there, do you want to tell me maybe after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line, will you be feeling the same way you started? Exactly the same butterflies, the same nini excitement. Will you be feeling the same kind of way?
No.
Would you call that a deal breaker because all of a sudden you're just feeling that I don't really feel the same way I used to feel before with this guy?
Well, I think the feelings, they come and go.
Yeah.
I want to believe so.
Yeah.
But it's how you're present in the relationship.
Okay.
Because if I want to believe when you're committed to something, commitment lead to adjusting. And it's very sacrificial. I mean, the love and everything. So yeah, I might wake up and I'm not feeling like calling him, but I will call him.
Yeah.
I might wake up and I'm like, leo lazima nijibu hii text, but I'll have to.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's about the feelings changing, but it's more of how I am in the relationship. If
The
that
presence.
changes,
The presence.
then that should be a red flag.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we'd call every morning and every night, and then it gets to a point we can go days without talking. Hey.
Is that a concern that would want to have a conversation, or it's something to start getting worried about? Like, oh my God, this is a red flag.
No, I think there are some things like that you can have a conversation, get to know where the other person is coming from, why are they behaving the way they are behaving, and sit and have a meaningful conversation. If you can't have a meaningful conversation, then why? Itoe kwa pink ianze kuelekea red. But if it's someone that you can sit down, have a conversation with, and actually see them put in the effort, I think we all have those bad days. We all have days where things are just not okay and you want to take the chill your chill pill. So I believe it's after the conversations and there's no effort. Hatutaanza nyimbo aki. We are not singers.
We are not reinventing the wheel.
We are not.
We are pali tuko tu tuna replace.
Yes.
Tukiendaga.
Kabisa.
What? Interesting. What do you think? What do you think about it, Ben?
To me, it's amechange. Yeah. Na inamaanisha even in the beginning that was not the interest. That was not the end goal where hatukuwa pamoja. Maybe ilikuwa ni excitement za mwanzo, inafika mahali kwa zile sasa zimeisha, vitu zimechange. So hata in the beginning ni venye tu msi hakukuambia live point.
No, but I think people change during relationships.
No, but you see what keeps you going. Like nilikuwa naambiwa na msee, sikumbuki nani alikuwa ananiambia, but alikuwa anasema in marriage you choose to love this person every day. Yeah, so you choose to love them because you remember you made vows. Yeah, you decided you will do life with this person. So even the same way in the relationship, at the end of the day you knew unaingia kwa hii relationship udate na umse.
Yeah.
But then hiyo excitement ikisha, so what is fueling the relationship? Unapata hakuna. So mtu amechange. But then anaweza anza kuhope hivyo, utapata atatoka hapa amepata excitement kwingine. Already amechange. Interest imechange. Yeah, but yes, it does change things. Kila kitu settle, excitement inaisha, love hata unashanga ulipendaje mtu vile ulikuwa unasema unaamka unajiuliza sasa uni bibi nataka bibi yangu, yeah, unaamka asubuhi unapata huyu sio mwenye uli decide,
yeah,
but you choose to be with them. So even in relationship you choose to make it work sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, tukisema change of interest, mimi na feeling saa zingine ni selfish because unafika mahali tu unataka vitu wewe zikufae, but you don't think about the other person, and then tu zina change. But also mtu anaweza jipata kwa space ya vitu kuchange kama kukuangana direction in the beginning. Like for instance, you're getting into a relationship. What is the purpose for us being in a relationship? Hatudate tu to have fun, hatudate tu postiane, hatudate tuende out na nini. We are dating for a cause, we are dating for a purpose. So in the beginning unajua I'm dating this person ndio tuweze kusail tuende mahali fulani to the next level, do things together, work out things together. But ikifikanga ati yo tuna date for tukudate, nayo change itaisha. Change comes in different way. Hata labda uliwamsia akiwa mrembo, God forbid kitu ina happen in future, anachomeka, the beauty is no longer there. But when you love them for who they are, inakuwa ni tofauti. So leo naweza kukupenda juu ya character yako ama juu ya umbo yako, but things can change.
So what I'm hearing is basically that it's not really the change like that comes naturally with interest, but if there's a disinterest creeping in that you no longer want, you can clearly see this person is no longer interested in you anymore. This person is now turning their countenance away from you, so that no longer they're clearly showing that they're not interested in you, and you can see it in their behavior, you can see it in their reaction and how they hold you, you can see in how they are treating you. You can be able to tell that this person's nini has changed. It's not the typical change of we've been together, of course you're changing, I'm changing, but there's an intentional, deliberate desire to want to make the relationship work, and so you're taking it step. It's not that you were talking about. It's that one for you figure at a point where you're now seeing, hey, mpaka ameanza kuthrow in a lot of disrespect in there, ameanza kushow some bit of attitude, na you know, from the way, the treatment, the everything, then you can just clearly tell that, you know, the curtains are coming close to fall.
And surely we cannot exhaust. A lot of responses are coming in from Instagram.
Thick and fast.
Mob. And I think we'll do this with part 2 as well.
Yeah, we should do this part 2.
We should do as another episode, because man, watu kwa nasema vitu.
Let's do one last one before we go.
We do a last one. So wacha niangalie yenye kai mzito. Wacha nitafute moja tu yenye kai. Anasema mean when angry.
Mean when angry. Why are you defining? How can you define mean?
Okay, maybe I will start with a question. Why would someone forget they love you when they are angry? Kwa nini unasahau una
Sensei, please share thy wisdom.
I like the question here is like unasahau, like this is your world, like the things you say when you're angry at them, like do you set aside the world una deal na the space? Like I don't get it why people say so unkind things when angry at someone they say they love. I think for me it's not a deal breaker per se, because as human beings, when you're speaking out of anger, you might say harshful things, but also we are told that what someone says when they're angry is what they actually mean.
From the abundance of the heart.
Yes.
Mind your heart.
Like for me, I wouldn't appreciate that. Like, watch your tone with me. Like, for me, that's a pinkish.
Hata kama umejamu, watch your tone with
watch
me.
Your tone.
It's not even what you're saying; it's how you're saying it.
Once you need to bring it.
Can you keep the main thing the main thing? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know we keep on going on and on and on and on. Thank you so much for holding it down with us at Catch 22 Nijikute. And as always, we always strive to bring in amazing Catch 22 questions. And please watch out. We are planning on having Catch 22 deck of cards where you can play with your friends, your family members, and ask them Catch 22 questions and what they would do, and they're caught up in such a space. We want to really give a mad massive shout out to our amazing host Ashley Mwelu for just coming through and holding it down with us. Thanks so much for helping us just pull through this amazing episode, and we'd really want to have you over back and back. again, and thank you so much for finding time to hang out with us.
Yeah.
From us to you, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and an amazing, prosperous New Year 2023. Keep it locked, and God bless you. Peace.